children of the night. What music they make. They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Hey.
Hello, 2024.
Goodbye, 2023.
Yeah. The finger to you and the finger to you. A finger for everybody.
One coming and one going.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2024 and the big final guys 2023 year in review, top 13 horror picks for each guy. How's it going, fellas? Happy New Year's. What's up, Hunter Senior? No resolutions?
Yes. Did anybody here stay up late enough to see the ball drop?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I was asleep by 8:30.
I do. I wake every year. I wake my wife up at like 1 minute too because she can't stay up, and then I make her kiss me, and we take a picture of it.
Aw.
Wow.
I went out to dinner. I was home well before the ball dropped. Watched like Avengers Endgame highlights until about quarter of. Flicked over. Watched the ball drop.
I was tired, so we
Went
had
to bed.
my kids were here and their boyfriends were here, and they were doing like cooking, and there was I just was like, I want to stay awake to eat Swedish meatballs that my daughter makes. Did that, and then I said, I'm going to bed. If anybody wakes me up at midnight, it's the last thing you've ever done in your lives. And then I fell asleep around 8:30. And my wife was asleep before me, so we were definitely like old ass people.
I had COVID, as I've talked to you guys before we started, the week before Christmas. So I was okay to go out after Christmas, but I still was sort of laying low. So by the time New Year's Eve rolled around, I could care less. I was just like, can we just get to next week? And
can we end this?
Yeah, I got drunk by myself and then worked till 2 a.m. after the ball dropped. So that was cool.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I took like 5 days off over Christmas, so I'm like so behind on everything. It's kind of debilitating. So I'm trying to catch up. So
you said I'm going to get drunk. Wait till after midnight when I'm feeling my best.
no, I worked up till midnight. Then I watched
okay.
the ball drop. Then I went back to work. Yeah.
did anybody see? I didn't see it live, but did you see the clip of Paul Anka where he wrote My Way? He sang My Way and Imagine, the John Lennon song. But apparently I saw this on YouTube afterwards or Twitter. He changed the lyrics to My Way, and it was a train wreck.
Really?
He's still alive?
He's still like, and
That was my first thought.
he's got a hot blonde girlfriend. Like, good for Paul Anka.
It's Paul Anka, man, the king of the Brill Building.
Guy wrote My Way.
Thank you, New Year's Eve, for making me hate John Lennon. I know I'm not alone, but that freaking song, I can't stand that song anymore.
I like the Gal Gadot version that when the pandemic.
Oh my god! If you didn't hate celebrities before that,
we got to do that. We got to get all our horror peeps and do one of those songs.
By the way, if you're a celebrity or a politician, is like this the worst moment of your life, waiting to see if you're on the Epstein list when that comes out?
Speaking of that song, actually, for my Patreon subscribers, we did a 12 days of So Bad It's Good Christmas. That is the worst thing you will ever hear in your life. So if you actually want to hear me sing, it is on there.
Oh, nice.
But I have warned you. It's bad.
Yeah. I'm drinking some bourbon for tonight in my Bigfoot glass. What's everybody got?
Nice. I got my Final Guys
Oh, nice.
t-shirt.
There you go.
Oh, Chad, I wore that when I was driving up to Pennsylvania for Christmas. We stopped at Wawa and I was getting something to eat, and this dude just looks at me and he's like, "Are you wearing a shirt with a picture of your face on it?" I was like, "Am I? Oh, yes, I am." He just went, "Okay," and then walked away. I was like, "All right."
It's a lot easier for you with your shirt compared to me.
Yeah.
Is that you on the shirt saying boobs?
They're like
Are you thinking about boobs right now?
Are you looking at my boobs? Yes, I am.
Sir. I am hitting it hard with some Michelob Ultra.
Oh.
The best part about this flu is everything tastes disgusting. So,
So
even beer, I have to
Michelob
force
Ultra is just tastes the same.
it tastes a little worse. Everything tastes a little bit like it's been dragged in the dirt. It's a bizarre thing going on. I'd rather have no taste.
Well,
I have no taste.
you guys are gonna love this. So, someone sent me this. I think it was Michael Toten sent me this. Check out the artwork on this beer.
Got the original Gort
Yeah.
on there.
How freaking cool is that?
I bet his
Is it?
DNA is all over that can too.
Is it public domain? That image, I wonder, or how do they?
That
get-
movie is old. It's about 70 years old.
know.
Steamboat Willie just became public domain.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Did you do a thorough wipe down of that can?
Nope.
There we go.
COVID. That's probably the least of my worries.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah. No.
Your mouth's gonna get pregnant, pal.
That's
All right. Well, we're here to talk about our top 13 horror movies of the year. And I put an asterisk by that because traditionally, at least one of us doesn't exclude or includes things other than movies on his list. And I've learned that even mentioning it to him just makes him
whatever. More
F
defiant.
you even harder. So,
Yeah. I actually added something to the list because I was like, you know what? If I put this on, it'll piss Jack off. So,
also, I can't wait to point out the stuff he didn't watch that should have qualified for that. But we'll get to that later.
there's
Once
one
we're-
glaring one
Yeah.
that everyone could be so mad about.
Is there something on a list somewhere that maybe is not from this decade? Possibly who might put that on?
That feels like a Lutsky thing.
there?
that better
Yeah, that feels like something I would do, but I
could
did not do
happen.
that. And I'm happy to say that all 13 of my movies are great movies. I did not put any. Well, I do have one on there that you guys are going to raise an eyebrow at, but yeah.
I did a
right.
little catch up work and watched some movies to squeeze them in before the end of the year. That none of them made my list, but I watched one in particular that if one of you guys mentions it, I'll save it for next week unless one of you guys mentions it, and then I'm going to jump in hard.
Oh, all right. I did a lot of
Alright.
catching up too, and none of them made my list either.
Yeah.
No, one did. One.
I
made
did
my
some
list.
catching up.
We should say tons of Happy New Year's from everyone in the chat. So Happy
Yes.
New Year.
Thank you
Thanks, everyone,
hanging
for
out with
joining.
us.
I always look forward to this episode every year
Me
because
too.
our lists are so freaking different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I got to be honest, there are some years where I'm going to, like, there was stuff that I'm like, if you don't think this, you're insane. There are so many movies this year that I'm just like, yeah, that could have made it. Or we're on for the longest time and then just fell off finally because something better came along. But I'm really curious because the mainstream lists that were coming out, there were a few like I saw like where Five Nights at Freddy's was on them, and I'm just like,
And
this person.
Skinamarink. People kept putting
Skinamarink.
Skinamarink in like their top spot. Like not
Ugh.
possible.
It's so ridiculous.
I think there's at least 3 to 4 movies that we're all going to have on our list.
Yeah.
Well, Mithrigan for sure.
Yes. Number
Chad.
one. Number one.
Do you like
It
my
came
name?
out last January, so it was number
Yeah,
one.
I did
for
see that.
January for me.
Jathrik.
All right. So, and we'll just make a note. Everybody can kind of comment on their thought process through this, but kind of when we started this, we're looking at this as our favorites and not sort of as critical. So there might be a movie that we said, if I was a movie critic, I might have put this higher, but this is more my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Is everybody in agreement on that?
Yes. Of course.
We agree. Should I do the drinking words now?
Please.
I just
I
finished
totally
my
would have
beer.
forgot that.
I need to get another drink.
This
All
is
right.
the first time I've ever remembered.
By the way, Funkle, I like your shirt.
Yeah. My niece got me this.
I can take a picture of that and send it to my niece. The hell.
She's
I want
on
to
the game.
question her.
Jack, I was reading chat. What did you say about the 5 favorites? I missed what you said.
I said that these are our favorites rather than like what we think are the critically like there might be a movie that you have at number 9, but if you were a movie critic, you might have had it at like number 2.
If you
Like
were
you're going
Oh
for
yeah,
favorite.
no, these are all for me.
All right. As we go through our nonsense, We will say words, and when we say some words, you take a drink. Jack's words tonight are evil, vampire, and doll. Jack loves the dolls. Mine are cabin, pool, and lurks. Jason's are found, dead, and sister. Oh, that's a terrible headline. Lutzky's are depressing, age, and knock. And bonus words are one of us says save, one, or talk. Oof.
I thank you for doing that, first of all. In my head, I think I know what each of your number ones are. Should I write them down
Yes.
and at
Yeah,
the end to show
yeah,
you if I
that'd be
think?
fun.
Go ahead, Karnak. Write it down.
I mean, I just thinking for myself, there's like only two things I could even have considered. Three things I could have considered to be number one. So it was, I made my list today, and just going back through, because we have the spreadsheet with all our movies on. So I was looking what all we watched.
Yeah.
And I grabbed 19 that I was like, maybe these could be on. But from like 6 to 19, I could have interchanged any of them and not even complained. So,
Yeah, like right before this, I think like I would say 13 or maybe like 10 to number 4. I almost like flipped the list right at the end. It's like, wait, do I like this more than the? And I was like, you know what? It's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This list will change in my head by Thursday. Like the order.
Right.
Or maybe the entire list.
Hey, we
sometimes
could also
when we do,
Go ahead.
sometimes when we do this, and you guys are talking about a movie, I'm like, I want to move that to up my list while we're doing this live. So.
And you can always throw in some honorable mentions at the end if you want.
Yeah. One other
All
thing I wanted to add, this is the first year when I was looking at main features we've done, and I could not remember them at all.
Yeah.
2 of them, I looked up on IMDb, I looked at the pictures, and I still did not remember the movie. That has never happened to me.
You know,
before.
it's funny because I did the same thing. I looked and I was like, we kept saying, where the hell are the good movies? Because 2 years ago, whatever, the last time we did the show, January and February, like you got like, what was it? Barbarian and X or whatever, the other the X sequel.
Pearl.
And like, we got a whole bunch of good ones at the beginning of the year. This one, like, we kept waiting, and then like it feels like Halloween. Finally, stuff started to trickle in, and there was stuff on my list for most of the year that fell off. That I was like, this can't be my number 3 movie of the year, and then thank
Kids
God
versus
some
Aliens.
stuff fell off.
Yeah.
So,
This is the first year. I mean, we talked about some of these for a half an hour. Zero recollection of them. It's unbelievable how bad
They
this year
don't.
was.
Some of them did not deserve our memory. That's why they're gone. It's fine.
It's an amazing year.
all right, so we should do this in an order so it's easy to remember. So you want to just go Hunter, Jason, Chad, me?
Sure.
All right. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Hunter.
Number 13. It's this weird thing for me to have this on any kind of list. It's an anthology, and it's one we just watched. It's Satanic Hispanics.
Olay!
That was a solid movie. Especially, I wish I knew that Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite was the guy. I think I would have enjoyed it even more while I was watching it. It was just a fun anthology that had only one clunker in the bunch, and even that looked good. And like visually, it was really pretty cool. But just the story was kind of
No story.
whatever.
No story. Yeah.
No. But all the stories, but the wraparound, everything in that anthology was really cool. And for any anthology that's making it to my top 100, means it's awesome. So check that out when you get a chance. I think it's like $5.99 on Amazon.
And as Toten suggested, it did win the best dildo in a movie 2023.
That
Well
is-
deserved.
That's a major award.
Yeah.
For Gilly.
So congratulations.
You put that on the wall right behind you, man. That's a big one.
What was that thing called? The hammer?
Something Ankarak's hammer or
Oh my
hammer
God! I
something.
hope Mike could tell us because it had the best
Balthazar's
name.
hammer or something like that. Okay, Jason, 13.
Oh God, I don't even have my list up. All right, my number 13. Man, I changed it around the last 4 of these in particular a lot. I ended up with Influencer at number 13. This was a movie that I went in expecting to hate because I just hate the word influencer. It annoys me to no end. I hate influencers in general. I'm including myself in that. I'm a douchebag.
I hate everyone on YouTube.
Yeah, I hate all of us, like all of us. So I expected not to like this, and the fact that it wasn't about an influencer, but somebody killing influencers, I found very satisfying. Great acting, cool story. This is a great Shudder film, so I dug it.
I put that as an honorable mention, and it killed me not to put that on. I took it on and off a bunch of times, so I'm glad it made it to somebody's list because I keep thinking about that movie. I really liked it a lot. So,
Very
By the way,
solid.
the girl in that movie, what was that Christmas movie that we did for the last of the year?
It's a Wonderful
It's a
Knife.
Wonderful Knife.
So
played
she
a
was
real
in that
small
too.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I wasn't there for that episode. That movie sucked.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my number 2 movie of the year.
You keep thinking about Influencer in a positive way. I keep thinking about It's a Wonderful Knife and how bad that was. Like, I think I spent most of the time trashing it, and like the further I get away from it, the more I'm like, I should have said more about it. Like,
Yeah, the further I get from that one, though, it is funny to do this too because once you start like looking back on some movies, you start to like some a little bit more and dislike some a little bit more. I love getting a little space between.
Yep.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Knife is by the guys who did what was that? Black Friday
Freaky.
and Freaky.
Yeah.
All 3 movies are just missing some major element that you need to be engaging in.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I think I hated Freaky more than I did It's a Wonderful Knife.
Ooh. Well, you're in love with Justin Long. We get it.
I am, and I'm in love with Vince Vaughn. He's money, baby.
Vince Vaughn is
But-
great.
Not
Freddy
his-
Doesn't even
Claus.
know it. All right, Chad, what you got?
All right, guys, this is not on any of your lists. And I'm going to say right now that this isn't something that I just felt like I needed to put on here. I put Skinner Marink as my number 13.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
As long as it's not number 1 or even in the top 10, that's fine.
No,
I'll let
number one, I don't think people are being truthful.
No,
Let
they're not.
me tell you why I did this. When
You
I
like watching paint dry.
when I watched this movie, I was so pissed off. Like, I don't get mad when I'm watching a movie, but this one really, really irritated me, made me mad.
It's because it sucks.
Halfway
does
through
suck.
this movie, I'm starting to feel kind of uncomfortable and disturbed even. And by the time it was done, I just felt like I'd watched, I don't know, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer or something, where I needed a shower. And for the next week or two, I just kept thinking about this stupid movie. So I have to give it credit that, and I've heard the same thing from other people, how badly it disturbed them, how badly it disturbed them. And it did what it, there's nothing else like it. Yes, it's very
Thank
boring,
God.
but I appreciate what they were going for. It had some unsettling moments, and sitting there for way too long. I mean, kudos to people for just trying to reach out there and think outside the box, even if it's definitely a polarizing movie. But yeah,
You
number
filmed the
13 for
corner
me.
of the box. By the way,
Speaking of box, we should put him in the horror penalty box. For that one.
Jason Ramirez says he has Stockholm syndrome.
That's what I was going to say. The same thing. The movie beat you into submission.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
that
knew
one,
you were going to have some on this list that I was going to be like, what? But I did not expect Skinner.
that like one scene with the mother on the bed. You're like, oh, is this getting good? And then it's like, fooled you. No.
Yeah, we're not going to get good.
I think what got me is there's a scene in there that says, "Stick the knife in your eye." Just random things like that. It was like, man, that is kind of disturbing. But yeah,
I think if that was a 10-minute short on YouTube.
Which I think it was in the beginning. I think it was a short movie. Just
Well, that was the biggest surprise of the night so far. So,
congratulations, Chad.
all right. Mine, I have a feeling this is going to show up higher on somebody else's list. Maybe. It's called No One Will Save You, the Alien movie.
Oh
And
yeah.
This was the one I was wrestling with Influencer because I actually think I like Influencer a little better than this movie. But I remember watching this, and particularly the first 2 acts, it just gets crazier and crazier with this girl dealing with an alien invasion and kind of like a home invasion movie. And then it kind of, the aliens just keep this getting crazier and bigger and nuttier.
Mhm.
And then you just had this insane third act with a very ballsy ending that I don't know if I really even like the ending, but I loved the fact that they went for it. because that could have just had a traditional ending and been just another alien movie, and instead it's one that people are going to talk about forever. Like, what the hell was that ending? And some people are going to love it, and some are going to hate it. So I like the swing it took, and I thought it was something refreshing, and I thought the aliens were really cool in it. So that goes number 13. And like I said, I have a feeling there might be somebody here who rates this higher, but we'll have to see, I guess.
Well, you never know.
None of us really like aliens, so
Nope. Aliens suck. They're fake. Okay, I'm gonna go with our buddies with the Addams Family with their latest foray into carnival weirdness, Where the Devil Roams. Shot up, I assume, up in the Catskills with one of the strangest casts I think I've seen in a long time, and it was kind of cool to watch them just take on just a bigger universe. It wasn't just the 3 or the 4 of them. It was this whole thing. It was strange. The very beginning is so compelling when the guy is doing that, reading that wicked poem on the stage in like turn of the century or whatever. And there's just a vibe in this whole movie that is just so freaking cool. There's great gore in it, which I also didn't expect.
Yeah.
Some weird things going on with the war that didn't look so good, but it didn't matter. It didn't take from the story. I think this is the biggest swing for the fences they've done so far, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Look, Jack and I would like to be in the next movie, but whatever.
For that cast of characters, they should have got Fried Barry and the Greasy Strangler in that.
Yeah, exactly. That guy with the dent in his head.
Fried Barry.
God. All right. My number 12 was a movie that would have been way higher if they had nailed the third act, and that is Cobweb. The first 2/3 of this movie, I was like all in on enjoying the hell out of it. I loved like the cast.
Is that Lizzie Kaplan? The one with Lizzie Kaplan?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that movie entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgettable.
I dug it in a year that I basically hated everything I'd seen up until that came out, and I'd never heard of it. It was a big surprise, so I dug it. I didn't hate the third act as much as everybody else did, but I had questions about the villain and some of the things were happening, but I don't know. It felt like an late 90s, early 2000s horror movie with the aesthetic and everything, so I dug it. But it would have been higher up the list if they'd stuck the ending better. But still enjoyed it. Made my list.
Nice. Chadwick.
All right, man. This is I guess you can't really call it horror, but we did cover it on the show for its ultra gore, fast-paced action film called Sisu. I think is how you pronounce it.
I think so.
Never knew what was going to happen, what exactly this guy was going to go through. Definitely outrageous, ridiculous, but very, very well done. Funny, fun, and unpredictable, and just really well shot. The effects were great. I had a really good time with that movie. So that's my number 12 is Sisu.
What?
Wowee.
Oh, okay.
Did you make that yourself?
This has been lurking around the house for about a decade.
It's a lampshade, huh?
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Sisu, man, that was such a crazy movie. I still don't know exactly what I think of it. I liked it quite a bit, but that ending was so strange and out there, but cool movie.
My number 12 is the prequel to Veronica, Sister Death. That's on Netflix.
I didn't get to
see
this.
it.
Damn it.
I didn't see that one either.
It is a great haunted. It's not quite a haunted house. It's like a haunted orphanage movie that just kept getting better. And the third act is so great that I was like, wow, all the buildup and character development and things that if they didn't have a good ending, I would have been like, oh, come on. It was so much buildup. Where's the action? It all paid off. I was very surprised by this movie. And like I said, I wasn't expecting it to end so strongly. So if you haven't seen it.
Is it better than Veronica? I think I maybe.
I don't think so. But I think it's a nice You don't necessarily have to see Veronica to watch it, but if you do, it's a great accompanying piece to it.
Is it better than Verotica?
Nothing is better than Veronica.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
So agree with that.
I mean, Caden Cross isn't in this, so
Yes. How good can it possibly be?
come on. And there's no weird spider.
Your
eyeball
teeth, they're
boobs.
looking at me.
It's my turn. What are we up to? 11?
11. These
All
guys-
right. The title of this movie is exactly what I've been for 11 days now. Sick.
Nice.
This came out, I'm going to say January, February of last year on, I believe, Hulu. It's a pandemic slasher movie.
Doc, I think.
Was it? Let me tell you, I had a great time with this movie. Like, this movie is why you get these streaming channels and hope for these little horror nuggets to come out. And I hate pandemic stuff, and I had such a fun time with that movie. And I like the main girl a little bit too. So yeah, Sick is one of the better slasher movies that's come out in the last couple of years, and it's kind of funny.
That movie is funny. That scene where she let me in the car. Do you have a mask? So great.
It's just so dumb.
I
yeah.
bumped Sick off at the last second. It was my
Oh.
first honorable mention. That's it.
I agree with honorable mention, and almost it pained me not to.
Yeah. If I wasn't an idiot and didn't put other things than movies on my list, it would have made it.
Well, you screwed yourself there, son.
All right. My number 11 was Thanksgiving.
Nice.
It could be some recency bias. I'm not sure. Because I did like some of the writing, I thought could have been better, but it's been a long time since we had a fun slasher. He nailed the formula really well. There's a lot of laughs in it. There's some pretty crazy stuff that happens at times. So I'm not sure. This might be my favorite of his movies. I don't know. Maybe the first Cabin Fever I might like more, but either way, this is a lot of fun. It finally came out. I feel like we've been waiting, 10 years for this or 15 years, whenever the hell.
Forever, yeah.
That trailer came out. So fun movie. Good time at the theater. I think the only thing he didn't put in from the formula is a pair of boobs. I think that's the only thing he didn't get. So it's
sequel.
It's fun. It's fun.
Don't pick up for it in the sequel.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to watch Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving just to get some sort of horror Thanksgiving thrill. Thank you.
Exactly.
Eli Roth deserves everything. Just that. Oh, by the way, Greg, I did not know there's a Winter King series, and those are my favorite books possibly of all time. So now you just let me know where it's at, and I'm going to find it.
Chad?
Yeah, okay. This is a sequel that we covered, and I think that Final Guys covered the regular one, Becky, but I don't think I was on for that episode. I had so much fun with Wrath of Becky. I laughed. I thought it was far superior to the one before it. And yeah, man, I just remember, I don't remember all specific scenes. I just remember it being really, really well done. I laughed a lot. It was gory. I don't remember finding anyone annoying that I was supposed to like Becky. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't really have anything more to say about it. I just think it was a really worthy sequel, and one of the rare times that I thought it was superior to the one before it.
Yeah, that's a good flick. I actually like the first one better, but I think they're both a lot of fun.
I still have to watch it.
Well, if you like Becky, you'll like this.
Yeah, I loved Becky. So it would be great if Leah Remini was the bad person. So you get everyone from King of Queens just in successive Becky movies. Patton Oswalt. It'd be funny.
All right. This is number 11. Mine is Where the Devil Roams. Addams Family.
Good choice.
This movie, we said it when we were reviewing it. Every frame of this movie could be a piece of artwork that you put on your wall. And just guerrilla filmmaking artistic. They did everything: the music, the filming, the acting, friends and family. You just got to tip your cap to these guys. They're the best independent filmmakers out there. And this movie had such balls. You know, they
Yeah.
and I think that every time they go out, they bring something new to the table. They're not just like this formula. You're like, everything is fresh and new. And what the hell did I just watch? Great job. So more power to them. And hopefully Hunter and I can play some Carnival Freaks in their next.
I'm gonna say you could be the #1 movie of the year if you just let us do a little tiny something in one of these movies.
Yeah.
You guys
By
could
the
sit
way-
at a bar and argue about shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have them on. So we're gonna have them on Monster Men. We just didn't work out during the holidays. So we'll beg again. All right. My number 10 is a movie that has been mentioned already by one of you goons. It is No One Will Save You, which it had to make my top 10. In fact, I think if you check with me tomorrow, it might be number 5. I don't know. It's one of those. I love, no joke. Everyone knows I love alien movies. This one was excellent. Caitlin Dever, what she did without being able to utter a word was probably one of the best performances of the year in terms of our little genre that we love so well. And I can't wait to watch it again because I saw it on this TV that we have here that is, I don't know, everything's really dark. So there were some scenes I'm like, well, I don't really know what's happening, but it sounds like someone's running. And it's not like she's giving verbal cues either. So even despite I was missing some stuff, I love this movie. And if you can give me one decent alien movie a year, I'd be very happy. But I realize it'll probably be 12 years before I see something else that's worthy of being on the list.
I actually thought this movie was going to be higher on your list.
Me too.
Like it could, like I said, you asked me tomorrow, it could be higher.
Yeah.
It's 10 right now.
All right. My number 10 is The Passenger. This is another
was a good
movie that really caught me off guard. I didn't know what to expect, but there is some dark shit in this movie. And a lot of it is just watching two guys drive around, just one getting verbally beaten down. And then, I don't know, the character development between these two as they're driving around doing horrible things is just really, really well done. And there was something about the filmmaking that got under my skin so much that the last shot of the movie, I was completely filled with dread that something was going to happen. So when it ended, I was just like, wow, there was something about the way they made that got to me. So it was very impressive. I feel like it's one nobody talks about.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard anything about it.
You're right.
And it's a really, really good movie. So
Nobody talks about it.
I expect that to be higher up someone's list.
I do too.
Chad?
Me? Oh, I'm sorry. Number 10 for me was No One Will Save You. So
there you go.
Chad and I agree on a movie.
Yes.
A movie and a placement. Now it's
it-
you can get 10.
Great movie, and it's I remember watching it and thinking, you know, this alien, he's basically out of the picture very early in the movie. And I remember being really excited about that and thinking, now what? Because from this point on, you know, we've still got, you know, nearly 90 minutes left in this movie. So I liked that a lot. The effects were good. I loved that, you know, I've heard somebody throwing the word gimmicky around with the no dialogue. It didn't feel gimmicky at all. I didn't even realize that there was no dialogue into it until like an hour into the movie.
Yeah, me too.
So well done. Great story. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So No One Will Save You. Number 10.
One of the
Why would-
daughters of Westminster.
I don't understand why people complain about gimmicks. It's like, how many movies are made in a year? If you can do something that's interesting that makes people pay attention more, like, good for you. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's well done. Who cares? Like, I don't, whatever.
Yeah,
Rant
like
over.
Skinamarink, that would be, if you could film Skinamarink and not And then 90 minutes in, I still don't realize that I'm looking at nothing but ceilings and floorboards and feet. Then, but that
Yeah,
would
exactly.
give
That
me-
means you've gone into a coma. Oh. Never
My
remember
number
that.
10, when I was talking about if I was critically rating movies, this would be higher. It had to make the top 10 just because of Mia Goth. Infinity Pool for me.
Mm.
She was nuts in that movie.
She's nuts. Everybody's performance in that movie is great. And it's one of those ones that the more you think about it, the better it is, because it has to do with cloning and it gets really weird. Brandon Cronenberg is, he's taking his father's baton and running, and he's taking it uphill. Like,
Mm-hmm.
That movie is crazy, but like the more you think about it, you're like, yeah, if you start to think about the ramifications of this stuff, this kind, starts to make sense, and it's scary, and you start asking questions. And
The rich can get away with everything. That's the theme.
And again, it's one of those movies that you just watch it and you're like, what the hell is going on in this movie? Skarsgård is amazing in it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is higher on any of your guys' lists, but I had to put it somewhere. Just so weird that I just maybe I kept it lower on my list because there was other stuff that I was a little more accessible to me. But
did you see the version that had a lot of penis or no penis?
I don't know. I saw, if I recall, I think I saw.
Yeah. There's a lot more penis in one version than the other.
There's so many movies with dicks anymore. I can't keep them straight. I don't remember which one I saw.
We got a whole show with 4 dicks right now.
They tend to lean to the left.
Wow.
I want to see as much as I can, so I got to track down every version of this movie.
Yes, track down. Put in more penis director's cut.
Because I don't know if this will come up again. I do just want to say about that movie. I think if I was looking at just filmmaking and swinging for the fences and stuff, this movie would have made my list. I didn't actually put it on because while watching it, I don't know how much I liked it because it was disturbing. It was and weird, and I think it's incredibly well made, and I don't know that I'll ever want to watch it again. So it was in my honorable mentions just because it's a really well made film, but it's messed up.
I agree with you. That's why I have it. Like, I feel like it could be higher, and it could not be on the list as an honorable mention. It's just a weird. I think if you're like, maybe Chad is the one who would be like, love this movie because he's just like,
well, he's
out there.
I mean, body horror,
and
Chad is Cronenberg guy. Cronenberg and Lynch.
Did you review this one with us, Chad?
Yes.
Yeah, he was part of the show then.
Okay, I guess we know what's coming up.
it's kind of mainstream for him. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a little too mainstream.
It's on repeat on his monitor. We can't see right now.
Penis.
Actually, I think today, I can't be sure, but I'm almost positive. I think today is my 50th show as a final guy.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You feel all right?
So, and we had a hiatus there, so I started in 2022.
Oh, right at the end. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. And he had a hyenas. A little something we learned about Chad.
What was
we all had a hiatus. What was it? Oh, because so
I'm gonna speak
Mr.
for my
Movie
age.
Maker
It was in
could go to
June.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Did
a big
anybody
deal.
remember the name of Skarsgård's character? Because Mia Goth is just like yelling his name.
Oh, was it like
Waving.
Peter or something? I remember.
Like, Dave.
Yeah, damn it. Well, I'm gonna watch it again, so I'll find out.
Somebody can IMDb it.
All right, so what are we up to? 9?
We're up to number 9, and this is one of the I watched like during my fever dream days as many movies as I could to try to see what can I add to the list. This is the one that stuck. I thank Jack for encouraging me to watch this. Birth Rebirth,
Yes.
which is a
Haven't seen
modern take on Frankenstein starring Marin Ireland, who I think she is fucking nominal. The best part was I just finished watching Justified, the new
with her
thing in Detroit, and she was in it. And then I watched this with her in it, and two very different people.
This could be the performance of the year.
Dude, she was so out there, man. She's just like definitely on the spectrum, definitely damaged emotionally, definitely a genius. And this is a tough one. I mean, because this is Frankenstein with a child, right? So it's like it's all the rules of the old Frankenstein movies kind of you can throw out the window because when it's your child, you'll do whatever you can. And it's also kind of like this buddy cop, buddy doctor nurse movie, the most unlikely duo of all time. I loved everything, the atmosphere of this, the performances of it, the morals behind it. I just think it was really good. In fact, this will get better with time, and the more I think about it, and the more I watch it, this was excellent movie. Excellent movie.
Glad you watched it.
Yeah,
Gotta check it out.
Yeah, I didn't get to this one.
it's on Shadow.
All right.
I saw it on there.
All right. My number 9 is No One Will Save You. I'll keep it brief because you guys have covered this. The first 2/3, man, I was just in, not even the first 2/3, the first 9/10 of this movie. I'm all in. I just really dug it. The no talking thing, it took me like 45 minutes too to realize she hasn't said a word.
Yeah.
What? And the way they did the aliens changing throughout and the threat of them changing throughout. I love a good alien movie. We almost never get good alien movies. So to see one that just released on streaming to no fanfare, really, really liked this. The end is out there in a way that we also don't see very often.
No.
I'm actually surprised they let them do this. I appreciate the swing. I did not like it at all. And I think had they stuck the landing of this, this would have been much higher up my list. Instead, it's one of those weird things where I can only recommend to some people because they're all going to hate the ending.
It's so funny because I think they stuck the landing with that ending.
Oh, God.
But I also like to give a big F you to people, so I appreciated where it went.
You're a contrarian, so it makes sense.
Swing away, Merrill. By the way, is
Jason.
Extraterrestrial the last good alien movie that we had? It's been a long
You
time.
would know.
Phoenix Forgotten, maybe?
Jason, I watched something else that didn't make my list that I'll probably talk about next week. And as I'm watching it, I'm going, what the hell am I watching here? And it was not a terrible movie from our perspective, but I'm like, how do I explain this if my sister asked me, what did you watch today? Like a normal person, I can't be like, oh, I watched this movie where this happens, but then there's like people like us who are like, oh no, but like Jason would get this,
Yeah,
and I can be like, yeah, it's not great, but it's worth a watch. And there's other people that you can't even like mention the movie, or they're going to be like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I get that.
Now I want to hear what this is. Yeah,
I usually get. Is that one of the
ending.
movies that you watch with those stupid guys on Tuesdays? Yes, it's one of those kind of movies.
Yeah, I got a couple of those movies that I don't recommend to too many people because they're going to be like, not like 120 Days of Sodom or anything like that, but like, a couple independent films that are like not for everybody.
Well, it's like at Christmas time, you're around the dinner table, and somebody would be like, let's just see let's small talk with Jack and make him feel part of the group. We're just talking about other things all day. So, Jack, what movie are you guys talking about? Oh, It's a Wonderful Knife, which is like It's a Wonderful Life, but a slasher movie, and it's really stupid though. But they're just looking at me like, what the frick is wrong with you?
Here's one to give to somebody. So this happened.
They are not your tribe,
like,
Jack.
Like I know you watch a lot of horror, but you also like a lot of movies. What's a movie like regular people can watch? I'm going to watch something. I'm going to be at my parents visiting. I was like, oh, Inherent Vice. That's a great movie. It's like this kind of detective movie. And I wish I had a camera when there's a scene where there's the masturbation going on. It's very explicit. So you can I just throw bombs at everybody until they stop asking me.
What was that movie we did? It was an anthology. Kind of an anthology with Robert Patrick where he's sitting beside his son talking him through jerking off. And it's like, what is this movie?
Yeah, that's the one with the incest.
Yeah, it wasn't an anthology, but it was built like that. That was that was like my number 2 or something.
that was a good
What-
movie.
What
That was a
Josiah
very good
saw it.
movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
called.
with Josiah saw.
Excellent
Kind of
movie.
Tarantino-y in the middle.
Yeah, because it was skipping
Yes.
the timeline.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
that
that's
whole
what you
scene in
should
the
do.
trailer park
Yeah.
felt like a scene out of Pulp Fiction.
I can't tell you how many people I've been like, "Oh, you should watch Martyrs," but watch the French version. They never sing
God.
it.
Yeah, they don't ask you anymore what
Nope.
what to watch.
I don't even remember who's up now.
I think that it might be me.
We're at 8.
Jason
right?
just went right. We're at 9.
Yeah, I just did. No
9.
one will say.
Oh, 9. Sorry, 9.
9.
Yeah, I think it's me. Number 9 for me is thank God David Cronenberg had babies because Infinity Pool. I thought it was great. Yeah, lots of dong, I guess, but a cool, really cool concept. It was very definitely disturbing. They had these really cool creative masks that they would wear, and this group of people are so. It's like, I don't know, The Purge and Society
Epstein
and something
Island.
else turned to 11, where just these entitled rich people get to do whatever they feel like and have no repercussions. Everybody was great in it, particularly what's her name?
Mia
Mia
Goth.
Goth.
Yeah, Skarsgård was good in it too. Everybody was great in it. But yeah, it was just I went into that movie blind, not knowing anything about it, and yeah, not other than I'm probably going to have body horror because of who the guy's baby daddy is. So did not disappoint.
I mean, if you ever want to see Mia Goth rub blood on her boob and then breastfeed a grown man, this is your film.
That was a bucket list item for me, so I'm glad I got to tick that off last year.
That was quite a moment.
Yeah, I'm glad I took my daughter to the theater to see that one. That was another uncomfortable moment. It's like, Jesus Christ.
It's
Jack?
funny when I like watch movies like with my friends, like when Academy Award season comes, and I'll try and watch mainstream movies to try and be part of the conversation, and something outrageous for the mainstream, like, oh my God, did you see that movie? It was so controversial. And I'm just like, you people have no idea.
Idiots. Noobs.
Have you seen Mia Goth rubbing her boob with blood and then breastfeeding? Because
See it every time I close my eyes.
all right, who? Is it me? It's me.
You.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
I would say his Satanic Hispanics would be my number 9.
What were you gonna say? Hispanics?
I always say it backwards. Hispanics, Satanics.
Hispanic satanics?
I had trouble where I was going to put this one, and I rated it higher because even though there's that one flop in the middle of it, I do not like anthologies for the most part, and I loved this one, and I laughed out loud, belly laughed at a couple of points, and then there was genuinely creepy parts. I have not enjoyed an anthology like this in so long.
Yeah.
And I just was so refreshing. And like it's that when that guy whips out the hammer, I was just losing it. I had already liked the
Hammer of Zanzibar.
Zanzibar.
That was it. That was it.
And having a wraparound that was like just as good, if not better, than some of the main the segments. Just so much to like, and I like the whole selection of directors and things like that. They got top level talent.
Yeah.
Just so good. So I'm going number 9 with that one.
Yeah. Them Hispanic Satanists.
That was one of my top. Just missed the list. I had it on there, and then I was just moving things around, and that's a fun movie though.
It got mentioned, so you're good.
Yeah. All right. That's funny. Number 8. Is that we're up to 8?
We're up to 8.
I would flip my 10 and 8 now that I'm thinking about it more, but I wrote it down in the book, so I got to do. Number 8 is Influencer,
Nice.
which
Nice.
I'm like Jason. I thought I would rather watch my mother take a bath than see a movie about social media influencer. But man, it turned out to be really good. And the locale was lush and just beautiful to look at. And it was just a strange ass movie. By the way, if anyone wants to see my mother taking a bath, go to my Patreon page. I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to go off the rails.
Send.
Jack, you're on there too. Jack cutting his toenails. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Stuff you guys haven't known, but now you'll know that it's been up there. But yeah, Influence is a really good movie. It's on Shudder. It's a surprising. That's like kind of like the dark horse for me of the year, because that's the one I went into with the lowest expectations and came out going, damn, that was really pretty good. And I want to see that the girl who's the killer in more movies.
Yeah, she's fascinating.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. All right, my number, what are we on?
8.
8. My number 8 is a movie that shocked the hell out of me. I thought it was going to be awful. Knock at the Cabin.
This was on my list and it got bumped.
Me too.
I loved the book except for the ending, and they changed the ending in this, and I actually like the ending in the movie. And this being an M. Night Shyamalan movie, after Old, I was like, this dude is just toast. Like he's lost his mind. Like, I don't understand what happened with Old, but there's no way Knock at the Cabin is going to be good, and I'm a fan of the book. But man, I really dug it, and it had what's his name, Batista.
Oh, he's awesome.
He was so good,
so good. Like, you want to talk about perfect casting. You want a guy who's scary as hell, but also very nice in the movie. And who would scare you more just walking out of the woods up to your child than Dave Bautista? You know?
Yeah.
So
Brock Lesnar, he would scare me more.
Yes, there's one human alive that is Brock Lesnar. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I don't know, maybe it's high on my list because it just took me by surprise so much, but I dug it. Good movie.
Yeah, that was on my list for a long time. It got bumped, but just getting a good Shyamalan movie it deserves mention, if nothing else.
That guy just constantly is like he's burying himself and then having to rise like a phoenix.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on with him.
It's wild. Old could have been written by AI, like the first version of AI. You know, it was so bad. And then this, I'm like, wow, okay, he should just adapt books because this is good.
Yeah.
I think you're the first person that I've heard say the flipped the ending. Like, most people were disappointed because they liked the book ending more than the film.
Huh.
Yeah, well,
I haven't read it.
Porter agrees with me. So
I'm with Jason on this one. I prefer the movie ending.
It's like the second time in history I've preferred the movie ending over a book ending.
Hard to believe. I actually didn't read the book.
Get out of here.
It's a brilliant idea. I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know the idea, but it's just a brilliant setup.
Yeah.
I like that this movie, not going to spoil anything, but they don't cheat on the ending. Like, you know, it's not ambiguous.
Okay, well, the book is the most ambiguous ending ever. So that's probably why I didn't like it.
All right.
That's from reading a lot of Cemetery Dance. Every short story in that ended ambiguously. I'd be like, what the F? Cancel my subscription.
And then he died. Or did he?
And was he even a he?
Who's up?
That would be me.
8.
Another sequel that I think is superior to the one before it, and that is Horror in the High Desert Part 2.
Wow.
Good flick.
Fantastic.
Great flick. Great mockumentary / found footage. Right up there with Lake Mungo would be another one that just, if you don't know that this is fiction and you're watching it, you could easily be fooled. The acting is the acting really has to be good for the some of these found footage stuff. I know you guys you got huge boners for Poughkeepsie tapes, but the acting is what pulls me out of that. But this is next level filmmaking for that kind of thing, and they just nail it. Where the first one was a great movie, it just focuses on the one thing, and then you've got a little bit of found footage at the end that's creepy. Well, I should say you've got, found footage sprinkles throughout, but nothing scary really until toward the end, where this has it's a little bit more convoluted as far as like, wait, I thought we were dealing with this person. But to me, I was just like, I don't care. Just show me the cool footage. They don't show too much. Everything is very subtle. You can, make stuff up or make stuff out just enough to creep you out. There was a movie that we watched recently that my biggest complaint was, can't remember what it was. It was that they just showed too much of stuff. And I think I used this movie as an example. Oh, it was the one with the long title, The Manor and all that stuff.
Carmichael Manor or whatever.
Yeah, where if they would have just been more subtle. But I like this. It's unsettling, and I recommend both of those movies. They're like 70 minutes long, right? I mean, it's a great double feature.
Yeah, they're short.
That Hell House movie is one of the ones that the further I get from it, the less I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, man, Horror in the High Desert Part 2. If you've not seen them both, I think they're both free on Tubi. But
Yeah, they were.
They're worth a watch.
Definitely refreshing. I think I like the first one better.
I preferred the second one. I'm with Chad. I think the second one was creepier, just more off-putting.
They're both good though, so I'm not.
Yeah,
yes, they are both great.
There'll be a third.
Yeah.
All right, is it me? And it's at number 8.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a Grateful Dead song called "Passenger" on the Terrapin Station album.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a movie called Passenger that I put at number 8. And if for nothing else, there's a scene in like a Burger King at the beginning of this movie that is just awesome.
Yes, it is.
This is one of those gritty kind of real life feeling horror movies with just people in terrible places in life. And
yeah, you can understand why you'd let it all go. If this is the best life has to offer, who the F cares?
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in this movie. There's a lot of good acting, a lot of good writing, and some really brutal stuff, and a lot of tension. And I kind of forgot about the ending until you mentioned it, Jason. Because when I reminisce about this movie, I'm always thinking about that big scene.
Yeah, the ending is really good.
So again, I could have put this anywhere on my list, but I just thought that the kind of real life, like there's no supernatural anything. So it kind of like was terrifying. You're like, my God, any one of us could be in a fast food place at this moment, like that kind of thing. So if you haven't seen Passenger, and I'm liking the picks we're getting because I'm not seeing a lot of these movies on other people's lists. And
True.
Passenger is definitely one that nobody's talking about, and everybody should be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. It's if you look up like best horror list of the year, I guarantee that's not on 99%.
Like I said, if somebody's putting Five Nights at Freddy, and they're leaving off some of these movies that we're talking about, I'm like, come on, give me the card, get in the penalty box.
We're not watching the other two.
Put them in the bathroom,
right?
Put them in the bathroom.
Yeah,
they made 2 more of those.
They're making it's a 3-movie deal.
I don't see why we would need to do that.
All right, good.
I'll look at the analytics of that episode and then I'll let you know.
Quit. All right.
Point.
Number 7. This movie was my number 1 for quite a while. And then it fell because other good things came out. And it's a movie that I would most like to watch sitting next to Chad. Mithrigan.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Is this seriously on your list?
It's seriously on my list.
The guy who has Skinamarink on his list just
Yeah.
question somebody.
Please, more people enjoyed Mithrigan than Skinamarink.
You two go at it, please. This
For
is where the
reals.
gold is.
I love Bad Dollies. I love the movie Dolls. You like the movie Dolls, Stuart Gordon? Like
You got to see
Dolls.
Betty Loves You.
Betty Loves You. How about that Chucky? That Chucky, he's kind of cool, right? This movie was just a shit ton of fun, man. This is what I needed. I went to the movie theater and just had a blast. It was a fun-ass popcorn movie. And then I watched the extended version. I think it was on Peacock. That was even more fun because it gave the doll a couple of more twisted moments. Can't wait for the sequel either. I was down for it. Just have a doll killing people, and I'm pretty much in. So
I am thankful for this movie for one reason, that we know with what was it you said? That you're just gonna finish anyone who's thinking lustfully of the three.
anyone who's thinking,
You're
yeah,
gonna finish this.
lustful thoughts, I will
We
finish.
found that out about you.
Yep,
That was gold.
offer still stands.
Oh,
Boy,
that
my
was a-
arm's tired.
That was a great moment.
Oh,
God.
so I'm in the
All
country now. It's
Jason,
like the
7.
milk udders.
My number 7 is a book. You're welcome.
Here we go.
I added this at the last moment just for you,
Why?
Jack. Because we review. I'm not going into it. We do this
All
every year.
right, whatever. Top 13.
This is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I read this right at the end of the year. I didn't have as much time for reading as I wanted, so I didn't get through nearly as many books as usual. But this was really good. I love Grady Hendrix. I love his style. This is one of my favorite books of his. The characters really got to me. I won't go into the story too much, but there's two main characters, and watching them change throughout the book is so well done that just even if you don't like haunted house stuff, the characters in this are just amazing. So,
I can't wait.
That's the only book I put on here, Jack. My
Hopefully they'll
apologies.
make a movie out of it and we can talk about it.
There you go.
Jack,
Great
you
book.
like Grady Hendrix.
I do like Grady Hendrix.
Yeah.
I'd like to read that book.
His books
It's just-
fly too. He could write an 800-page book and you'd read it in like 2 days. It's crazy.
The dude is a master right now. He's just crushing it.
Life has been kicking me in the nuts lately, so I haven't picked up a book in like 3-4 months. I promise to get back to reading somewhat at some point.
I will buy the book, knock on your door. When you answer it, I'll throw the book at your balls, and then I'll walk away. That's another kick
All
in
right,
the nuts.
I'll take it.
I think
I haven't
you're
got a
good.
free book in a long time. I'll take it.
Yeah, really. Somebody send Jack a free book. Who out there is a writer looking for attention? Who wants to
Sponsor
get a
that news.
shout out on Final Guys?
He wants to get a shout out 6 years from now on Final Guys.
Get your shine box.
You'll get 2 whole purchases from Jack's recommendation. Oh, all right. Time for a beer.
Who's
Chad.
up? Chad?
All right, number 7. Talk to me. A24. I know that this hasn't been mentioned yet. I don't think so. I know it's on your guys' list. It's got to be. You're muted, Jack, or you were.
It's not been mentioned. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes. Yeah, great movie. I gotta be honest, man. I think that A24 used to be like this thing that was just, it felt like it was my thing, or people who dug deeper. It was like there, and so when everybody and their mother was like, "Oh, talk to me." I get a little bit like Hunter in that regard, and it ruined some of the fun for me. If I'd had not heard of the movie, man, I think I would have liked it even more. Parts of the movie where I felt original, parts felt just like a rehash, but a better one of things that have been done before. Great movie, great ending, some surprising moments, shocking moments. But yeah, I'm sure this is one of the movies that I thought would probably make it 4 times around tonight.
I'm going to give you a spoiler. It did not make my list.
I was going to say, I don't think Hunter, I wasn't on
Ooh.
before we talked about that one.
I did not like that movie.
Well, let's
I
not.
don't know
get
why.
into
What did I just say, you guys? Hunter, I don't even know if you were listening.
These wasn't.
I
It
went
was-
to get a beer. No, I wasn't.
Oh,
listening.
okay. I didn't know if you had your headset on. I was
No.
saying that it was ruined a little bit for me because of A24 used to feel like my thing that I knew about, and my friends who used to dig deep, underground looking for their movies, and now everyone's like, "Oh, talk to me," and I was like, so I'm a little bit like Hunter in that regard, where if something gets too popular, it taints it for me, and I'll bet you anything if you would have just found that one day and turned it on and you'd never heard of it.
He does
probably
love
wouldn't.
taints, though.
I love a good taint. I was actually looking forward to that movie. That was like one of those, all right, everyone turn off all the lights. I made some popcorn. We're going to watch this. And I was like, I'll watch it again. I'll try it again.
You're a friggin' idiot.
It's a great movie.
Whatever.
But you put Megan on your list and not that. You're an idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
did
something
put
wrong
Megan
there.
on my list.
But I mean, it's better than Skinamarink. So.
Thank you. I still
Not even
Skinamarink
close.
is the anchor that will weigh you
Yeah.
down forever.
You've never seen Skinamarink. We've seen Mithrigan many times.
Right, and I've enjoyed it every time. Now I know I
No.
never want to see another version of Skinamarink.
I'll give you that.
All right.
I'm making a new movie. It's called Baseboards. It's just shots of baseboards. You guys are gonna love it.
Baseboards, the movie. I lost track. Where are we?
You are up.
7.
I'm up. 7. Boobs, blood. Number 7 for me is Candyland.
Oh, I did not watch that. I know you told me to.
Yeah, I didn't
Dude.
get that in.
Somebody mentioned this on something I was listening to, or maybe a YouTube video I was watching, and I was like, "What? What is this?" Tubi, boom, a slasher flick that takes place at a rest stop in like the 90s, where these like girls and guy are working the parking lot. They're called lot lizards, and it turns
Yeah, I
into
know
this
them.
slasher flick with these damaged people who have like this weird family and this religious cult that visits the lot preaching to them and stuff. I said it when I introduced this movie to you guys. I always complain like, this movie just didn't have any balls. Where was that? If this was in the 80s, we would have got more gore. We would have got more skin. And this movie just felt like it came from the 70s or 80s. So I had a good time with it. So I would encourage watching this one.
Yeah. I didn't get
I
it.
was gonna watch this, but I had brought up a whole bunch that you guys had said at the end of the year, and on IMDb it said this came out in 2022. So I was like, "Oh, I don't have time to. I'm not gonna watch it because I won't be able to put it on my list." And then like a day later, I found out no, actually it wasn't available until 2023.
Yeah.
So I ended up watching something else instead. So I want to get to this.
It's on Tubi.
It's fun. And like I said, I'm always complaining like that these movies are so safe nowadays, and I was like, oh, this movie just lays it out. And the girl in it, the main girl she was in one of the what the hell, Channel Zero and something else. So I think she's one of the girls in It Follows. I think it was one of her friends.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. She's the girl with that clamshell reader.
And she's got this real weird look to her that was like perfect. And there's some creepy ass people in this movie. So Candyland.
Lot lizards are a special group.
Yes.
All right. Number 6 is The Boogeyman.
Oh,
And that movie was surprisingly good. That's what I came in with no expectations. There was no high, no low. I said, let's just watch this. Let's check this movie out. This movie had some real, like, make your nuts shrivel kind of tension in it. Every part didn't work, but overall, this movie had me tense and holding my breath more than any other movie I watched this year. So for that, I'm going to give it kudos. It just hit me at the right time. Like, just like Talk to Me maybe hit me at the wrong time. This hit me at the right time. And by the way, what's his name? Rob Savage.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. I'll watch everything he does. So
Another
home run.
I feel like you're making this list specifically to trigger chat.
Me too. I feel the same.
we agreed on one, and this is it. We're done from here on out.
The Boogeyman is one that it's the one I most wanted to get on my list that I just bumped at the end. That movie hit me at the right time. It's like I was so pissed at how bad the year was. I missed it because I think it came out when I was in Germany, and then I caught it later. I was like, this is what I miss about horror. Just like a nuts and bolts horror movie that's fun.
This will make a person a horror fan for life. It's the kind of movie that they'll see for the first time and be like, "Holy shit, I love horror now."
It's got Mail in Ireland in it.
Thank you. So, can't lose with her.
All right. My number 6 is one that I have a prediction for later, but my number 6 is When Evil Lurks. I had a blast with this movie. If it didn't have the dumbest main character I've seen since Forrest Gump, this would have been like an all-time classic. Crazy moments in this movie. One with a dog that is like
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
Best kill of the year.
And the fat possessed guy. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen.
Since
This
seven.
this director has such an eye. I mean, it's just this
Yes.
dude can make horror movies. I will watch, just like Rob Savage now, I will watch anything this dude does. Anything he does. His segment in his Satanic Hispanics. I'm going to set it back. Now you're messing me up. His segment in that I've really loved. This dude is great. I just hated the main character. So, the whole movie I hated him. And then at the end, he's doing the one thing someone is begging him not to do. And he's like a kid. He's like walking away looking at her like, I'm going to do it. I'm still doing it. And it just...
Biggest
it
ass
really-
hard in horror movie history.
I didn't see him like that at all.
He
Not at
brought
all.
destruction on everybody.
Like, if he was in a scene, you're like, this is going to go wrong. This guy is so bad.
It's the
He was
most
batting his
realistic
thousand.
character ever.
Yeah, I know. A total idiot. God.
Having said that, this dude's eye for horror is so next level right now that he could do anything and it would make my list. So,
Yeah.
but man, had he gotten a character in there I liked, this would have been my number one. So awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
All right.
Okay.
Number 6.
Number 6. Thank you, Jack.
Numero seis.
Number 6. You guys turned me onto the Addams Family a few years ago. I still haven't seen the one, the dirt one, or the digging one. Whatever.
Yeah, that's a good movie. The deeper you
But-
dig.
But I absolutely loved Hellbender, and somehow I just thought, was that a fluke? I think I like this one better. Like someone mentioned earlier, broadening it,
Yeah.
the bigger cast of characters. The music was still on par. I don't understand. It just feels like a family making a movie. Just to me, I've said this a few times. It feels like a recipe for a disaster. Like that should not work. I don't know what kind of water they're drinking, but they should keep drinking it and then keep
Clear
making us movies
streams
because
in the cats.
it was a great movie.
By the way, they make their own music, right? Their band is
Mhm.
Hellbender, but they're not performing anywhere. I checked. I asked them if there's any way I could go see them, but for now, they're not performing. So you're just gonna have to watch the movies
And if they did, it was going to be like the friggin' Mount Airy Lodge.
at the old Nebele.
Yeah.
Mount Airy Lodge is by me in Pennsylvania. We
Okay,
have to go
whatever.
to whatever's out
The
there.
Overlook
That's
Hotel.
Look.
I ended up not putting this movie on my list because I feel I've never talked to them. I don't know them, obviously, but I feel because I've watched them making these movies and getting better and learning more, I feel like I'm not objective in reviewing them. Like, I feel like if I just recommended this to somebody, they'd watch it and be like, what the hell's the matter with
You
you?
dick.
But I'm like, I love it. So I ended up pushing it off my list just because I was like, I don't know where I'm at with them. Oh, I mean, I know where I'm at with them, but yeah, it's just really cool watching them grow.
But wasn't that the rule of our list? Like our list is comprised of
It
stuff
is,
that-
but with this movie in particular, I don't know how much I'll watch it because this movie's messed up. So this is one that I don't know that I'll
Also,
rewatch.
Jason puts like lamps and tables and stuff on his list. There's no rhyme or reason.
You wait till you see the top of my list. You're gonna be upset.
He's
Oh,
gonna put a
boy.
Lego set on top 2.
It's a VR game, guys.
All right.
It's not.
My number 6 was mentioned earlier. It's a little thing called Birth Rebirth. And
Hey-o.
this
I think I
movie,
should have watched this.
Cronenberg would watch this movie and be like, "Oh my god, that was dark."
Yeah, you're right.
And the two leads, especially Malin Ireland, are phenomenal. There's less like slashiness in this movie than most of the other things we watched this year, but
It's a slow burn for sure.
it's a slow burn, and like I said, the heart of it is a child, and so just the weight of this movie is heavy.
Mhm.
And it's dark, but there are really funny parts to it too.
Yes, well, because you kind of need that humor to
Yeah.
release a little bit of the tension.
But Malin Ireland is so good in this movie, and some of the things she does to the end to get to the end that she's trying to reach
Yeah.
are dark and bizarre, and it's just crazy. And so I really like this movie a lot. And as I was thinking about where the heck to put it, I just kept thinking, I keep thinking about this movie and how freaking dark it is. And so I put it there.
Good for you.
Nice.
It's on Tubi. You should definitely check it out. But again, like
And Shudder.
if you're I'm sorry, not Tubi, on Shudder. If you're like having a bad day or a little depressed, wait for like daytime and open up the drapes and have some
Yeah. Don't watch us
All
in
right.
a dark mood. It's not going to help you.
Chad, I think you missed out by not watching this one.
It sounds like it.
It's a Chad movie for sure.
Mm.
And by the way, I'm going to get back on Chad's good side now with my number 5 pick. Horror in the High Desert 2,
Right on.
Minerva.
Wow.
Yeah, I've decided that if I ever have a third child, I'm going to name her Minerva. Is there a chance of me having a third child? No.
I know a
But-
girl named Minerva.
Get the hell. What do you call her Minnie? Or
Call her Minerva.
Really? She doesn't have like a Min?
Maybe
All right.
men sometimes.
So, yeah, I loved Horror on the High Desert. I thought that was an excellent movie. And this one just took the creep factor and just ratcheted it up to 11. I think these two are two of the best found footage movies that have been made in the last few years. And nobody's really talking about them.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind.
Right.
But I'm glad to put it there in the old top 5 because that's one I'll keep watching again and again.
All
I
right.
really liked it, but I didn't remember liking it that much.
I don't know. It tickled
Yeah.
my fancy.
It's not top list for me, but definitely a recommend and enjoyed it.
For a movie of its budget too, like what that guy's doing is very impressive.
Yeah.
There's also kind of there's a part in them where they're like going through like a shed or something like that gets a little bit tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right, where are we at? 5?
5.
Hey,
My number 5 is Evil Dead Rise.
That piece of
groovy.
trash.
I loved this movie. I honestly didn't know what to expect, but I am now of the opinion that I love all things Evil Dead. I keep waiting for the wheels to fall off. It just doesn't happen. Everything these guys do is great, even if they're just producing. This had some really shocking moments to me. Again, I've watched Evil Dead so many times. I don't know why I wouldn't expect them to do crazy shit. But in this one, when some things happen, I was like, I cannot believe they went there.
Because they threw kids into it.
Yeah, because of the kids.
That was
Yes.
the thing.
Yes. I'm like,
Crazy.
it's just crazy.
Mhm.
I love that Evil Dead is somehow mainstream horror. They only release a movie every 10 years or 20 years, but when they do, they seem to do okay. And man, what this drop in April, I think?
Yeah.
And it was like we had been on such a horrible run, and seeing that in the theater was just great.
The
Yeah,
this
opening
movie-
credits with the title card when it came on. Oh my
I got
God,
I got chills for real.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Man. And they expanded the mythos just enough that I'm like, ooh, I'd like to see more of that. So
Yeah.
And
Good
you
stuff.
will.
And they took it out of the woods. I like that.
Ballsy move. Ballsy move. But it worked.
Cool.
All right, Chadwick.
All right. Number 5, Evil Dead Rise.
Hey.
All right.
Really at 5? I
Yeah.
thought you'd have it higher.
Huge Evil Dead fan. Yeah, I liked it more than I thought I would. And
Would
it
look me and
was-
Jack like going, what is he drinking?
like I said, man, that title card gave me goosebumps, and I really liked it. I'm looking for it. Mostly, I've told you guys before that I would rather have my Evil Dead without the campiness. I do appreciate like Ash vs. Evil Dead, that kind of thing,
Mhm.
but I liked my my Evil Dead is the first one, and I like the remake, and then here we are back with just being brutal and terrifying. I told you,
Put
and
some
then
good
I
camp too.
watched it twice this year. I told you that I watched it with my buddy Tom, who did special effects for the first one and a lot of the ones for the second
Name
one.
drop. Name drop.
That was
By the way, that's
That
an
was,
awesome way to watch the movie. That's an awesome company.
it was awesome.
I watched it with Bruce Campbell, my buddy.
But yeah, man, that was
Sam Raimi served me popcorn.
number 5 for sure. It deserves a high spot on everybody's list.
Yeah.
All right.
Jack, Evil Dead.
My number 5 is a little thing called Evil Dead Rise.
Right on, man.
Awesome.
What the F?
And I will say this. I like camp in my Evil Dead, and I like this movie because it had some camp in it. I don't really like the remake. It doesn't bring anything new to the table, and it doesn't have much personality to it. So I will watch the first three Evil Deads, and I love all three of them. I
Mhm.
love the first Evil Dead so much. I love the second Evil Dead so much, and Army of Darkness has got a special place in my heart. The remake, oh, if it's on, or
Let me ask
something
you
like that.
this though. I mean, if you have to have a remake, right? I'm not saying that I wanted it. I'm just like, but for a remake, you still didn't
Yeah,
like
well,
it.
it wasn't bad, but like,
Name it something else. I thought it was so kind of different. You could have given it a different name. I don't know.
it was kind of just retreading. You already really have Evil Dead already twice.
I
It's
know.
true. One of them
Because I remember watching Evil Dead 2 and going, wait a minute, this is like the first movie, but wacky.
There's just less people, and it's weirder.
Yeah, like, so like I said, there were times where I was like, I'm kind of in the mood for the first one. I'm kind of in the mood for the second one. And like I said, the second one just changed the game for me because I was just like, oh, this movie's like out of control, gory, but it's hilarious too. Like, so anyway, back to this one. I like that this one had the grittiness to it, but it also had some fun to it, especially when you get into like the third act. So I know there's a lot of people who like the remake more than this one. Not me. I like this one better than the remake, and I'm looking forward to the direction they're going. And I loved the over the top stuff at the end in the parking lot, and things
Oh
like
my
that.
god, that's nuts.
And like what Jason said, I liked some of the way that they were trying to reinvent things so that you could move the story forward and not be kind of confined by the rules. They expanded things a little bit so you could have some room for wiggle room for doing different things in the future. So thumbs up. Like this one I could have knocked this one lower because it's a sequel, and so there's some other
Mhm.
stuff that I'm like, oh, I like this original stuff better. But like this just put Evil Dead back in a place where I'm like looking forward to the next one now. So
Once you got to the parking garage, I'm thinking, oh, when I saw like the musical, which is the best thing I've ever seen live, I'm thinking that's the splatter zone part. That's where you got to put on your
yeah,
poncho and you got to
yeah,
sign a fucking waiver.
that's
Like, that was so good.
and that's the stuff in the hallway, and it's a good flick.
It is.
It is.
And you're right, that title sequence, that title card is just
Nipples hard.
Just out of curiosity, I know it's not Chad's favorite. You guys, where's Army of Darkness in the list for you guys? Do you really love it, or just it's fine?
It's fine.
three out of the like every once in a while I like it's got so many great quotes and scenes in it. It's more like what it's like Anchorman for me. I don't really want to sit down and watch Anchorman start to finish, but I want to watch scenes from Anchorman.
Yeah,
Sure.
I get
think
it.
I think for me, I might like it more than Evil Dead 2. I'm not a big. I just saw Evil Dead 2 again last week. I'm not a big fan of that. So
Did you do a hate watch on it?
no, I told you before that when it came out, I had no idea it was out, and both my dad and I were tremendous Evil Dead fans since like 81, 82, something like that, 82, I think. And then so we ran across the street, Dead by Dawn. We went in there, and we were expecting, this is before Ash was Ash. This was just a sequel to our favorite horror movie, so it's going to be brutal and horrifying. And that is not what we got. And so we were really disappointed. I've tried to love it over the years, and I appreciate it. But it's probably on the bottom for me.
That's the worst. I appreciate you.
I had the same experience with Evil Dead 2. It was a big letdown for me because it's not what I was expecting, but I've really grown to love it over the years. But it wasn't what I was expecting at all when I watched it.
I'm the opposite.
We loved it in college.
Holy crap. Yeah, in college. That was one of the most fun movies to watch with a group of people. And maybe that's different.
That was my experience with Army of Darkness. I watched that in college for the first time, and we were like, what the hell is this? But we were just like dying laughing.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Number 4. Again, another movie that's been mentioned before. It is Infinity Pool.
All right.
I saw this movie when it came out. Brought my daughter. I saw the coming attraction, had no clue what I was in for. There's nothing. There's no tip of the hat in the trailer to really tell you what's going on in this movie. It's great, man. Cronenberg's Seed is carrying some great DNA, special
Mm-hmm.
knowledge in it. Mia Goth is an unhinged in this movie. I just love the theme of the movie. Didn't see, like I said, didn't see it coming, and I just love it. At one point, you're going, "Who's real and who's not anymore? Like, who's
Right.
like, is the real person long dead? Is this just like, are you clone number 8? Will you ever know? How does it impact you?" It's a really good movie. So it definitely top 5 for me. In fact, my wife, when she was going through her flu fever dreams, she's going, "Let's watch Infinity Pool." I'm like, "No, you have to watch this with a clear head. There's no point to watch this when you got 103 fever." So hopefully we'll be watching it soon again.
Nice. All right, my number 3, because I'm here to trigger Jack. My number 4. My number 4. Sorry, is The Last of Us TV show. I did not have high expectations for this because I'm just kind of over zombies. But wow, was this freaking good. And that's including 2 episodes that suck. Like 2 episodes, I'm just like, cut this shit out. Like, this is dumb. But the rest of the show is so freaking good that I don't even care. Like, looking back at it, I don't even give a shit about those episodes, whatever. I expect this train to come to a complete stop here with the next season because I've heard it's based on the second game, which everybody hates. I've never played it, so I don't know. But I don't expect good things for season 2. But the good news is season 1 ends in a way that you can just watch that and never watch anything else. This show is great.
So good. Those zombies are so cool too.
Man, this show's awesome. So that was my number 4.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I said this last year. My top 4 they're all like number 1 for me. They're interchangeable. These are the best movies I saw last year. This one right here, my good friend Jack here turned us on to it, specifically me, I guess. He was thinking of me. And Jack knows me very well because I watched Candyland.
Oh, nice.
And I loved that movie.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Damn.
So good.
You and I missed out, Jason. What the hell?
Damn it.
It would be an excellent feature. And I didn't know that they could show that much vagina in a movie.
Okay,
And
where's
we're
this?
we're not talking about quantity. We're just talking about
Quality.
open and displayed. And there it is.
Damn.
Yeah, I didn't know that they could do that in a movie.
Yeah, it's quite startling.
Yeah, it really is. So, you guys know that one of my favorite vampire movies is The Transfiguration. I also like Let the Right One In. So the reason why I bring those two up because they're very original vampire movies, and this to me is a very original slasher. It's not your typical slasher at all. If you want to call it a slasher, I think I would. But the characters are great. It's got a very gritty feel to it. It's unsettling, and it has a great ending that I did not see coming.
Yes.
Did you see that coming?
No. I did not know
This.
what to expect from this thing.
Yeah.
And I this is one of those ones I think I put it on my list where I put it because I felt like recency bias was coming into play. I was like, I just am too excited about this movie because I just saw it. So I was trying to temper it, but I'm so happy you watched this movie because
me too.
If you had not liked it, I would have been heartbroken.
Yeah, no, good call. Thank you for that because that easily. I was 5 minutes in. I was like, oh, this is for me for sure. And I think you guys would like it too. Yeah, but when you look at the poster, it's not something I would have picked. I don't think.
If I hadn't seen the guy, I think it was a YouTube video, and this dude just mentioned it. I had it on while I was working. And then like when I heard like, wait, I don't know this one. So I stopped and started watching. I was like,
yeah, when the guy was like, there's so much vagina in this movie. And you were like, what?
Well, the movie was top 10 vaginas in movies for 2023.
Wow.
And I knew most of them, but then I was like, what's this one?
Yeah, it would have been a great feature, I think.
We could still do it.
Yeah, we can do it. It's not, we're going into the dearth.
There is nothing to watch.
January to March sucks every year. So
yeah. It's free on Tubi.
Put on the list.
Maybe we do it next week.
There you go.
Could be.
I like
Find
it.
out.
Oh,
I'm up, right?
You're up. Yes.
Number 4.
Yes.
Number 4. I would like to take time to show my gratitude by saying Thanksgiving is number 4 for me.
Wow. Okay.
And again, I
That's the
think
turkey.
I could have put this lower on my list, and I didn't because the funny parts of this movie I thought were so funny.
Yeah.
That and the I used to live in Massachusetts, and the scene where like before they go into the Walmart or whatever, the people who were yelling at them
My
just
blood
reminded me
pressure
of
was-
friends of mine who are from Duxbury, which is like the town next to that.
There's so much swearing in that scene. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
It's the most realistic for something that wasn't filmed anywhere near Massachusetts. That captured a Massachusetts crowd. The closer it got to like a Scream movie, where I was like, okay, this is fine. But then, like, putting a woman in an oven, like they did the over the top stuff that I was hoping for. There's a
Yep.
kill with a freezer door that's awesome. So,
Dude, the kill with the guy driving the car with his 2 little kids, he's driving the float, and that thing just goes right through his face. You see his nose bent up on the pole, and the kids are just covered in blood. I'm like, oh my God.
yeah. So, like, I just had so much fun with it that I was like, okay, I'm putting it here because I had a blast with it. But like I said, I could have gone lower with this one because I think some of the other movies on my list I liked better, but I really found the funny parts of this movie funny, and I love that. So I'm going.
The reason I had it lower on my list is I just didn't see bias because I just watched this and I liked it. So I was trying to adapt for that.
Good stuff either way, wherever you put it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Number 3. I can't believe that I like a movie that I thought Chad would love more than Chad. Evil Dead Rise. It was my number 1, like, all year long. It got knocked out in like the last month.
It's worthy, man. It's worthy.
Yeah, man. That was just so surprisingly good and just bloody and weird. And it had homages to it, but it was also original. And it opens up a whole universe. Dude, I am so excited. And Jason, I'm like you. I've yet to find something. Even I wasn't a big fan of the remake, but I still like it.
Yeah, it's all right. I like it.
There's nothing they do. Is it the perfect story? I don't get it.
Neither. But it works.
We should put it in the hands of somebody who sucks at what they do. Like anyone who's made a Resident Evil movie, make an Evil Dead movie and see.
Steven Seagal makes Evil Dead 7.
It'd be amazing.
I think we talked recently about how this might be one of the only franchises where every movie is a worthy watch within the franchise.
The show,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everything's a home run.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is no exception. So I love this movie. This movie I'll watch over and over. Like once you get to top 3, these are movies that I'm just going to keep watching over and over and over again. So that's why it's number 3.
All right.
All right. My number 3 is Talk to Me. This movie was super hyped. Super hyped.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to be let down. And honestly, through like 3/4 of it, I was struggling because this movie is so dark and so freaking depressing that I was like, man, I don't.
And
like
the characters are idiots.
It's incredibly well made, but god damn, like, can I get a joke in here? Like something? Just can we relieve the pressure a little bit? But they stick to the landing with the ending. Man, the stuff they do in this is dark. I mean, this is phenomenal. A24, these guys. I don't know what formula they tapped into for making these movies, but I love them. This is one that actually lived up to the hype for me, and I heard that we talked about them doing a sequel, right? I think.
I don't know.
I'm sure
I
they
heard
are.
about that, but loved it. Freaking loved it. But you got to be careful who you tell to watch this one because if they're having a bad day,
The sequel is going to be
worse.
Talk number 2. Me.
Oh,
Or
I saw
Fuck Jack.
it's a couple of young kids.
They're
Guys in their
YouTubers.
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them on Joe Rogan or something talking about they're annoying to listen to.
Oh, perfect.
but
Oh, I'll skip that then.
they made a great movie.
They did. They really crushed it. Good
Nice.
stuff.
I disagree, but whatever.
No one cares.
Chad.
My number 3, I don't think anyone here has seen this. Hunter may have just watched it, but I watched Beau is Afraid.
Oh, you finally saw it.
All 3
We did
hours
not
of it.
watch it, even though I was getting ready to.
Still
Okay.
didn't get to it. I want to.
Like all of you, we get hyped about Arioster, and then we're like, oh, 3 hours long. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. That was my attitude.
He
But
hates
before you
90
say,
minutes.
is it actually horror? Because I've seen so many different opinions on it.
I really kind of don't think it is. No.
Okay.
But everyone's calling it horror, and I just saw it, and I know you guys would probably want to hear about it, so I put it on the list because I liked it a lot. So number 3, and it's it has horrific elements, and you can see a lot of. To me, it felt like a David Lynch meets P.T. Anderson meets Ari Aster. It was
That
very
did not sell that for me at all. You just made me not want to watch it.
Oh my god.
P.T. Anderson, Magnolia, Boogie Nights, Hard 8.
Yeah.
More
There
David
Will Be
Lynch.
Blood. There Will Be blood. Blue
And it's a
Velvet, Wild at
prequel,
Heart.
Jason. There's
David
lots
Lynch
of
doesn't-
prequels in this.
It's not.
Oh, that's right.
Continue.
You still haven't seen Blue Velvet.
I haven't.
You will like that. You have to see Blue Velvet. Okay, so Beau is Afraid. It is one of the weirdest movies I've seen, but I put it on thinking, okay, I'm going to watch this in like increments. I'll throw this on for a half hour, see what it's about. And 2.5 hours went by, and my wife's like, I want to go to bed. Get out of here. So, so I left the bedroom, and I was like, I'll watch the rest of it tomorrow because I had some work to do. And yeah, it was good. Joaquin Phoenix, I mean, I don't know that he's done a bad movie, really. He is so great in it, and this is no exception. And he's beefy, hefty, and husky, and out of shape. And I'm like, man, he just did Joker. That doesn't even seem like the same body,
Right. And he's in Napoleon. Maybe he's getting ready for Napoleon.
I don't really want to. I think maybe it's one of those movies that are best to go in blind. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you still really don't know what it's
I was
about.
going to say, there's no way to know what the hell that movie's about.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I was like, I have no idea what this movie's about. Somebody took Robo and then drank a thing of Robitussin and then made a movie.
Some purple drink.
It has a giant penis in it. So that's something to look forward to.
Penis.
Burying the lead, man.
And it's got some I don't know if they're nods to Hereditary Midsommar, but they're in there. I won't say what they are, but I think that I don't know if you guys are up for doing it for I think everybody will like it. Maybe not on their favorite, but if you wanted to do it it's on Hulu right now.
Watch it.
Oh, it's on Hulu?
Mm-hmm.
That's encouraging.
Nice.
Yeah,
3 hours
so-
is the problem, man. Like I can get 2 movies in.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
but then I
right.
think about I'll binge watch something for fucking 5 hours. So
But
I'm
I
like,
was just like,
why
it
am I
also
stopping at 3?
It also reminded me a little of Forrest Gump, just because it's that kind of epic tale, but it doesn't go.
It's not stupid.
No, it's I don't know what to say about it. It's a weird movie. It's worth you guys watching for sure. I recommend it. I just don't know who to recommend it to.
Right.
I liked it a lot enough to put it at number 3. So
Well, I liked Mother, so I know I'll like this movie. Your favorite movie of all time, Jack?
I think I may have to take a week off.
I just got Mother on DVD
Good.
today.
Great movie.
Haven't seen it.
I want to revisit that because
We need to do another main feature. We need to do our main feature revisit with Jack.
why did Jack quit the show?
Let me tell you about
Tuba's Mother.
the worst horror judgment in this entire show is Hunter Shea.
Why are you going after me?
Because
First of all,
How am I
it's
the
Tim
worst?
Meyer.
you just brought now.
Yeah,
Tim
Tim.
Meyer is friggin' Cisco and Lieber compared to this guy. Because number one, he wants to watch Mother. He brings the M word up.
I loved Mother.
Number 2, he puts
Yes.
movies on his list and he leaves Talk to Me off, which is my number 3. And I feel like
Well, there you go.
your
You're
judgment,
just another fucking lemming.
you're
Jump right
just
off that
you're
cliff
an
there, buddy.
amateur. You're such an amateur. I'm so
Everybody likes
disappointed
Talk
in
to
you.
Me. So
Oh,
here we go.
I didn't get around to Candyland, but I'm gonna put Boogeyman on. Come on.
Now you complain about Boogeyman?
responsibility. Yeah,
What the
that's
hell?
not
You
top
sit around
10
watching
material.
Marvel movies all day with your pants off. You got to be kidding me.
Pants have nothing to do with this. I watch everything with my pants on.
Oh, Black Widow.
I don't have pants on right now. It makes things more natural.
You know, Mithrigan made more money than Talk to Me.
Of course it did, because it's a way better
So
movie.
did Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, I'm just saying. He's like, oh, you lemmings.
Yeah.
But you have Mithrigan on your list.
That's right, because you guys are all fighting me.
You
That's
can't
why.
ever judge something that's good or talent. Excuse me, has talent by how much it's selling, because people like the same
No, that's
old
true.
thing. That's why romance is the largest selling genre in the world, with the same story being told.
But they can't make a romance movie. It's a bizarre thing.
Notebook is a great romance movie.
I did get that AMC premiere thing so I could go see like 3 movies a week. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just saying that Sydney Sweeney movie may be
Dude.
next on my list.
I'm trying to find a way to get my wife to see it without understanding what the undertone is of that. We'll find out.
All right, so Talk to Me is number 3 for me. I did not want to see this movie based on the trailer. I thought it was just going to be a mainstream Mithrigan kind of movie that
Mhm.
just the masses would like. And Mithrigan was okay, but you know. And then I watched it. And I wasn't on the week that we talked about it. I thought it was great, and I thought the ending really elevated it. I loved the very end of that movie.
Me too.
I thought it was great, and it was so much better than I thought it was going to be. And then I was like, "Oh, it's A24." I didn't realize it was A24 until the opening credits. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I really enjoyed it. It's number 3 without a doubt for me. I just thought it was it's not the most original movie in the world, but it's original spin on some stuff that we've seen before, and it went some places. And there's a Event Horizon like moment in it that's really awesome. So a big thumbs up for me on this one. I thought it was great.
There you go.
Love
Just like your proctologist. So
He loved it too. Ass Man.
now, usually my top 2 movies are movies I buy. So top 5 I watch a lot. Top 2 are ones I'm going to buy because I need them. Number 2 for me was Thanksgiving. I need fun slasher movies, and this is Eli Roth delivered exactly what I needed. Again, maybe no boobs, but I'm gonna hope for the sequel we get some boobs. We got everything else in there.
No way.
I thought it was just a shit ton of fun, man. And I saw it 3 times in the theater.
Holy shit, dude. How much money are you spending on Thanksgiving?
Dude, up here it's like cheap. First run movies are like $8. But
Go for that.
yeah, so I saw it once by myself, once with my wife, and once with my kids. And it was just, I don't know. I had a fun time with it. I didn't care about some of the holes in it. And I nearly, the first time in the end, when you see the paramedics dragging the burned up, blow up turkey like it's a body on a stretcher, I nearly lost my breath laughing. I was the only one in the theater who that hit that way. But that's fine. I don't care. Things hit me a certain way, but I'm going to buy that movie and I'm going to watch that a lot.
Excellent.
All right. Greg, we don't bring up Regal Cinema around here. Please don't mention that again.
Jerks.
All right. My number 2 is also a show that no one is watching, and it's driving me crazy.
This guy.
It is from season 2. It's so goddamn good. And if you look up anything about horror, there's nothing about From. It's just like this show no one knows exists, and it is so excellent. I am dying for the 3rd season. Everyone go watch From. I won't even explain anything about it because it's lost but horror. And if I give anything, I just don't want to spoil anything. It could be a Stephen King adaptation, but please God, everyone listening, check out From.
Where can we watch from?
It was on Epix. which is part of the problem. I don't know. It became something else. I don't remember what it is now
I
because I
think
haven't
it's
watched it
somewhere
since
else
98.
now, but I don't know where.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
Epics became something else. I don't remember what it is though. But it's on one of those obscure streaming things, which is why nobody knows about it. It is worth getting the free trial or paying for a month and binging it. I promise. This show is excellent. Just look up front.
All right.
Do it.
Somebody in the chat could maybe look it up while we're.
That would be nice.
Yeah, really. Someone do some homework.
The only other person I know who's watched it is Tim. Like every time I bring it up, people are like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Well, that's not an
It's
endorsement.
not a
Dude.
great
You
endorsement.
should not have brought that up. That's it.
Damn
Everyone
it.
just crossed from off their list right now.
I did kind of wreck myself on that.
You did. That was dumb.
Also, people start logging off the show.
Okay, sorry. The only person I know who's heard of it is Tim, and he hates it. So,
Oh, okay. On my list.
they're saying MGM Plus. Thank you.
God, I'm not gonna.
That was
Sure.
MGM Plus.
Jesus Christ.
I think it was Epics, and it became MGM Plus or something. I don't know.
Good. I'll see it when
Jason,
it's on
thank
an
you.
actual streaming network.
Amazon Prime's going to start having ads soon.
Yeah, I heard
What?
that.
You're kidding
Yep.
me.
I'm not kidding you. By the end of January, so
You
you're
can pay
paying
even more.
and getting ads. Yay!
Yeah,
And
unless you
half
pay an
my
extra $2.99.
Mm-hmm.
Half my shit doesn't even come in 2 days anymore. It takes longer. So
Oh yeah,
I'm like this close to getting rid of it. Damn it.
Yep.
Netflix and Amazon. You're killing
They're
me.
all going the same way till we turn them all off. That's why you got to buy physical media, ladies and gentlemen. Don't depend on them.
All right, number 2, right?
Yep.
Number 2, I can't remember the guy's name, but I love him, just like Jason does. When Evil Lurks.
Nice.
Yeah.
He did the short in the Hispanic Satanics or whatever.
That's right.
Jack.
You have killed all of us with this.
Yeah, way to go, Jack.
And then, of course, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Terrified, with one of the most disturbing opening scenes in a movie ever. Yeah, When Evil Lurks, the dog, the axe to the head, so many, the bloated body, the dipping of the son's brains, so many memorable scenes. This guy does great with horror. And we've already talked about it. I won't say much, but yeah, that's number 2 on my list. I cannot wait for this guy to do another horror movie.
Nice.
Yeah, he's amazing.
My number 2 involves a monster, but a giant monster named
I know where
Godzilla.
you're going.
Godzilla -1. Went and saw a sneak preview. Walked out going, "Oh my god, that was a great movie. I did not expect that. I expected maybe a pretty good movie." And again, I kept saying, you take Godzilla out of this movie and it's still a good movie. But the Godzilla parts are some of the best Godzilla I've ever seen. And what the heck was this movie? How much did they make this for? Was it 10 million?
15 million.
So good. The United States should stop making Godzilla movies and just let these guys.
Like the Geneva Convention, they should make a law. America cannot make Godzilla movies. Just stop.
Just stop. I can't recommend it enough. It's so good. For me, Godzilla movies are nostalgic. It takes me back to my childhood, and I enjoy them in the kitschy way. You know, I love guys in rubber suits fighting each other and throwing each other and blowing up buildings and stuff like that. And this was like a step. It still had that kind of fun, but it was also like a serious movie too.
Yeah.
It's so good. So if you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it enough. I was trying to explain again, mainstream people. I'm like, guys, you're not gonna accept this, but Godzilla -1 is one of the best movies of the year. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but it really is. Not just like horror movies, like one of the best movies of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big blind spot for me this year. I tried to go see it when I got back from Christmas, and it's only playing at like one time of the day, and I just couldn't get there in time. So I'm probably gonna have to wait for streaming, which is driving me nuts.
Oh. Well, now that we're at number 1, Jack, my number 1 is Godzilla -1.
Nice.
It's the best movie I've seen this year. It was so much GD fun. the CGI in this movie, because it's not a rubber suit Godzilla, it's a CGI Godzilla, is phenomenal. What they do for 15 million, the schmucks over at Disney and Marvel can't fathom with 500 million. They could not figure out how to do this, because the best stuff, it's daytime stuff. There's no rain, there's no fog, there's no nighttime. There's stuff in this with Godzilla snaking through the ocean, going after boats and stuff. Oh my god!
And
let me-
Godzilla makes eye contact with people, and
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I just die. Just take that last shit and die before I hit the ground. It's when the traditional Godzilla music hits, you get like top head to toe chills.
It's like Hulk Hogan doing the
"Yeah, brother." Yeah, it's just like that. And the power of this Godzilla is out of control. And the way he builds up to do his little fire breathing act, his atomic fire breathing, holy cow. This movie is perfect. This is a perfect monster movie.
What about his sound
Perfect.
that he makes? Is it a throwback to?
It's a throwback. It's everything. There's nothing wrong here. Because it's the first time they ever did a Godzilla movie where they did the people part right. So if you pulled Godzilla out, you still have a compelling movie, which is crazy. Wow. So even though there are long parts where you don't see Godzilla, which is typical Godzilla format, this time it didn't matter because you were really compelled by the story they were telling.
And I was aware of it while I was watching the movie. I'm like, there's been people like talking for like 10 minutes and I'm not flinching right now.
Yeah. My God. I freaking love this movie. And Jason, if you can see it in the theater, see it in the theater because it's a big movie. This is not for, oh, you have a pretty big screen at home.
Yeah, I do, but it's, it's not the freaking movie theater.
No.
That's a.
And they had the sound cranked, so when he would do like his roar, like you felt it through your chest in the movie theater. I was like, yeah, brother.
It sounds like this is what we wanted the 2014, I think it was, Godzilla to be, that it just didn't even come close.
Any of these others.
Oh, I got to see it.
Yeah, you do.
All right, I'll try. All right, my number one is The Fall of the House of Usher.
You saw it.
Yeah, I reviewed it.
He's just gone off the ramp.
I don't remember you seeing that. Okay.
What's the last movie he named?
Talk to Me was number 3.
There we go.
This year, movies sucked, and TV, there was really good TV. And Fall of the House of Usher, man, Flanagan's writing is just on another level right now. Like, nobody can come close to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that he adapted, I don't know, 8 stories, 9 stories into one series and made it a coherent story in itself is, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it, to be honest. I thought him taking the Shining book, the Shining movie, and the Dr. Sleep book and making a sequel to all of those and having it work was incredible. This is like another level beyond that. It's unbelievable what this guy is doing. Just give him all the money. Stop giving money to Marvel. Give it to Mike Flanagan and let him do anything he wants. Please, God, let him do the Dark Tower.
Oh, God. Yeah, reboot that.
Netflix should just write blank checks to him so he never leaves. He's like the only reason to stay with Netflix right now. The Fall of the House of Usher is unbelievable. That is far and away my number one of the year. I could not watch that fast enough.
I gotta get someone's Netflix account. Send it over to huntershay1@gmail.com so I can check it out.
Nice.
And the new Dave Chappelle special I heard is amazing.
Like I'm serious. The writing should be taught in universities. Like the writing of this series.
Jeez.
How to adapt stuff. I mean, you took that many stories from a man's work that's over 100 years old and made it into an 8-part series, and it's all coherent. Is unbelievable. It's
they
really
take that
good.
old material and make it digestible for younger people.
High praise.
Yeah, it's really good.
So good. And Carla Gugino is a national treasure.
She is.
She's the best.
You're on mute, Chad.
There we go.
Ding!
Any guesses, guys? My number one?
Dude, I have.
Passenger.
You already said pass. Oh, I thought
No,
you.
I didn't say Passenger.
Oh,
Nope.
there we go.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
man. This is the perfect. This movie is the perfect reason why it's best to go into a movie blind, because a movie like this, especially that first like 15, 20 minutes, where you don't know what kind of movie this is, what these people are capable of, what the story's about, what's going to happen. If you don't know, that's going to hit really hard. Especially the first thing, just the whole movie. And that's how I went in. I had no idea. But not only is it's not my number one movie of the year, but I think it's number 2. But it's my number one that came out this year for sure, easily. And it has been ever since, I figured it would be in my top 2, but yeah, what a great movie. I don't know why people aren't talking about it. Nobody is talking about it. And
weird.
We have talked about this before about Blumhouse's name somehow being attached to this. And so for me to give such high praise to I don't know that they fully did it, but their name is somehow on it. I don't talk very highly of Blumhouse, but that movie, The Passenger,
great
and
movie.
it's made 3 of our lists, right?
Yeah, it was on my list too, but it just didn't make the cut. It's a good
Excellent
movie.
Don't
What
worry,
about you,
Miss
Jack?
Regan made it.
Yeah.
My guesses for you guys was Passenger for Chad,
Holy
Hunter, Godzilla, and Jason. I thought Talk to Me was going to be your number one,
Number 1 movie. Yeah.
That was a
but
good
it was your
guess.
number one movie. So
Yeah. Good job, Jack.
boom.
You are
Nice.
Karnak.
My number one is When Evil Lurks.
Nice.
Wow.
Good pick.
This movie is brutal and
Yes, it is.
doesn't take any prisoners. And another dark one. And the unlikable characters to me was just like, yes, I thought it was refreshing that there wasn't like somehow these heroes are going to figure things out. These guys were doing everything wrong and it was escalating. And I was like, this is awesome. And the new twist they took possession on, I thought was great. But this guy is just such a filmmaker. And I can't wait to see what he does next. And there's some stuff with kids at the end of this movie that's brutal.
Mm-hmm. There sure is.
And like the bloated guy at the beginning with all the pus. It reminded me of that movie, Nobody Sleeps in the Woods.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So when I was just thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that was the horror movie that was like, this is the kind of stuff I like. Independent movie, takes no prisoners, and that dog scene alone. But there's so many. Every time there's a kill in this movie, you're like, what the hell just happened? Oh my god!
Yep.
I had you
And
down
it's
for
the main
a
character's fault.
Yeah, you idiot. I had your number one movie as A Rare and Pleasant Stranger, so I was off a little bit.
I like the book better. All right.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think TV wise, you're right about Usher and Last of Us were outstanding.
Just unbelievable. TV really eclipsed film this year. It's ridiculous.
Slow bar.
Yeah.
Slow bar.
All right. Anything else before we wrap this baby up?
I'm just gonna give a little shout out to Husera.
Oh, the Bone Woman.
The Bone Woman. This is a movie about a girl who gets pregnant because it's what she's supposed to do, and things get really weird. I think it's a Mexican movie. It's really.
I've seen it.
You'd like that.
I've seen it on a lot of lists, and I meant to watch it, but I didn't get a chance to.
That was the one I didn't get to.
Yeah, that was on the list for a bit, and I don't know, but it's really
for my I got 3 honorable mentions that I watched for the first time this year that didn't come out this year that would have made my list, and that's Fresh. I know that you've all seen it.
We love that movie.
Yep.
That would have been real high on my list. Men was another one that
Good
I
movie.
loved.
Did not make
And
my
then-
list.
But I think the best movie that I saw a year, I don't know, maybe it's tied with Passenger, but I saw A Ghost Story, and I really like that movie quite a lot.
You liked watching her How's That Pie?
Very, yes, very, very creative movie, and those long scenes, just the tension that it built and the uncomfortable. You felt like such a voyeur watching some of the stuff, and it's like, okay, are you gonna? It was awkward and that it was uncomfortable, and it's great movie. But those three are three that I saw this year that are in my regular top 10 that I'm gonna put on my website for all movies I've seen, new and old, this year.
I think you guys hit all of my movies that I just pushed off. I think you guys mentioned all of them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I had Influencers, Sick, Wrath of Becky, Megan, down.
Yeah,
in the,
we're all in the same ballpark. It wasn't that
Yeah.
crazy, except for Skinnamarink.
The year ended up not being as bad as it seemed. It wasn't as top heavy as I wanted, you know.
Yeah.
But it made up for it at the very end. Like, I managed to fill out a list. We were in August, and I was like, "There's just no way I'm going to have 13 movies to put."
Like
on this
August
list.
had 5. I was like, "What is going on,
It was
Hunter, I
awesome.
thought you were going to have Kids versus Aliens on your list.
dude?" It was written down, but just didn't make the cut.
So,
Oh, well.
before we get out of here, curious about what you guys think of your predictions for this year with all the strikes. Is there going to be a lot less horror, or is there going to be more because the turnaround time on horror is so much faster than other genres? Are we going to get like a glut of it at the end as they try to get stuff released?
I think next year we're going to have to do our top 7, and we're going to be pressed to find 7.
everybody's going to have Maxine as the number 1 next year.
Probably.
I already do now. It's in ink.
I think it's going to be a lot of movies with agendas. That's what I think. A lot more of them.
Oh God, why? That's a veritable loser. They already know you can't win with that crap.
It's an election year too, you know.
Black
Ask-
Christmas 2. I'm still waiting
Ask
for it.
Disney how that worked. Jerks.
Ended up being a decent year, gentlemen. Very
Yeah.
nice.
It did. Wow, this is 2 whole friggin' hours.
We went
I
through a lot
would've-
of movies.
Worn a Depend if I knew this was going to be 2 hours long. Okay.
All right, so we'll announce what we're going to do next week during the week, and
And we might have a special guest.
we
Should
may
have
have
a
a
special
special
guest.
guest, but we'll confirm that and let you all know. So, good job, fellas, and we'll see everybody next week. Happy New Year.
Well,
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
2024, bastards.
Bye.
Game over,